Welcome to Alien Investigations, the show that investigates UFOs, alien phenomenon, and strange news around the world.
In today's episode, we'll be investigating a few things. Did NASA's Curiosity rover spot a UFO crashed on Mars? Or is it just debris? Did a NASA former worker see men on Mars in 1979? And are there men right now as we speak on Mars keeping the rovers clean? Let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is about the former NASA worker that called in. Okay, this will be an audio clip from the radio show with Coast to Coast AM. And when they were interviewing John, and a lady named Jackie called in to ask the question. According to Jackie, at least 6 other NASA workers saw the 2 humans walking on the red planet's surface. And they seen this on the telemetry monitors. And there was more than just one person that seen this. So let's listen to the radio broadcast now.
Yep. Wildcard line, you're on the air with us. Hi there.
Hi. Having an interesting night tonight, aren't we?
It is, indeed. And where might we be?
I'm Jackie, and I'm from, North Las Vegas.
Okay, Jackie, go ahead.
Okay. John, I'm hoping you can solve a 27-year-old mystery for me. Do you know what was going on in 1979?
Where?
Well, on Mars.
No.
Okay.
What was going on in 79 on Mars?
Well, I used to work at NASA during that time and handling downlink telemetry. And one night on our video monitors, while the little Viking rover was running around, I see 2 men in suits, not necessarily space suits. I mean, they look protective, but they didn't look like the bulky things that, our astronauts use. But they came over the horizon walking towards the Viking Explorer, and our vision got cut off. I didn't see what they did with it or anything else.
They were probably making repairs.
Well, that's why I was wondering if they were our guys or not. Cause
yeah, they were.
Do you know what kind of suits they wore?
Pardon?
Do you know what kind of suits they wore?
Well, they wouldn't have to wear very much. I mean, the atmosphere is... there's enough atmosphere to walk around without a spacesuit on Mars, same as there is on the moon. I mean, it's like about 15,000 feet on Earth. Now, you can go through a 24-hour acclimatization program on the moon, and you can walk around without a spacesuit. Same thing on Mars. You don't need a spacesuit. If they had one, it was just minimal.
Did you have any other witnesses there while you saw this?
Oh, there's about well, out of the workers, there's probably about a half a dozen of us, because we were, you've seen the typical NASA things where they got all the monitors.
Oh, yeah. So you had a few people out there monitoring the monitors.
Yeah, you got about, the people that were up there, and then there's about a half a dozen of us downstairs, because, it was just maintaining the equipment, because if anything went wrong, we had to get it up quick so they didn't miss the telemetry.
You folks must have been amazed at what you saw.
Yeah, because, when we saw that and they cut off our video downstairs, of course, we ran upstairs, and they've got on those side doors upstairs, they have those little windows. I don't know if have you been there?
I have not, no.
Okay. Well, they got those side doors going up to the back, what we call nosebleed section in most stadiums and stuff. But anyway, you come up there, and we could look through the little window in that because they had just locked the door, and they normally don't lock it on us. But anyway, they just locked the door, and then they came, we saw some more on their monitors. And they came over with some paper taped over the door.
They clipped it. Can you imagine
Jackie,
that,
I
John?
appreciate you calling
Yeah.
and telling us that story. It is great, and it just confirms what's going on.
Can you imagine that, John? There they are looking at their telemetry, and they spot the monitors, and they're looking at the rover piece of it, and all of a sudden they see two human beings walking into the scene.
Yeah, absolutely. They were going just like Mars rover, cleaning off the dust. They had their paper towels and Windex and got cleaned off so it could receive the signals.
Conspiracy theorists say this is evidence of a secret space program. Now, Jackie's claims follow a similar bizarre theory by physicist Dr. John Brandenburg, who believes an ancient civilization on Mars was wiped out by a nuclear attack from another alien race. Dr. Brandenburg says ancient Martians known as Sidonians and Utopians were massacred in the attack, and evidence of the genocide can still be seen today. He claims his theory could explain the Fermi paradox, namely why if the universe is abundant with life, we haven't heard anything from anyone else yet. He warns, though, that we need to be fearful of an attack on our own planet and should mount a manned mission to Mars to know what we're up against. Now let's talk about this picture that's been out for a while and it's spread all over the web, of this famous shadow figure cleaning the Curiosity rover. So what do you guys think? Do you think this is an actual astronaut or man on Mars cleaning the rover? So as you can see in this picture, the shadow seems to have short hair that is visible in high detail. The person seems to have an air tank or air pack on his back and a suit that covers his body but not the head. Now I'm thinking maybe like a scuba diver would wear, like the new body packs that they have out that I'm showing you in this picture here. Now, just to be fair, looking at the second picture here, this was taken 28 seconds later. It still seems that the person is there, but if this is so, they managed to keep perfectly still because the figure hasn't budged even slightly. So, to me, this could be also a phenomenon called pareidolia, where we as humans are wired to see faces and patterns in images. So I don't know, guys. Tell me what you think by leaving some comments below. Speaking of the rover, there were some pictures of the Opportunity rover where it was completely covered in Martian dust, as you can see in this pic here. And then the next pics that were taken, it was spotlessly cleaned. In fact, as far back as 2004, there were unexplained cleanings of the rover. And the rover is still being cleaned today somehow, because as of August 29, 2017, the Opportunity is exploring Perseverance Valley on the west rim of Endover Crater. So this is an astonishing feat given the fact that its builders said that the rover would only last 90 days due to the buildup of dust on the solar panels. And this was back in 2004. Now, they also projected them to drive about a total of 600 meters. However, both Mars Exploration's Rover Spirit and Opportunity both defied expectations and explanations. The Spirit survived until 2010 after getting stuck in a rugged soil of Gustav Crater, and the Curiosity rover landed in Gale Crater on Mars on August 6, 2012. So both the Opportunity and Curiosity rovers are still going strong today. In fact, they are working on a new rover right now to be launched in 2020, and here's a picture of it. The Mars 2020 rover is based on the Mars Science Laboratory Curiosity rover configuration. It is car-sized, about 10 feet long, not including the arm, 9 feet wide and 7 feet tall, about 3 meters long, 2.7 meters wide, and 2.2 meters tall. But at 2,314 pounds, 1,050 kilograms, it weighs less than a compact car. In some sense, the rover parts are similar to what any living creature would need to keep alive and able to explore. The Mars 2020 rover has the following parts: body, a structure that protects the rover's vital organs; brains, computers to process information; temperature controls; internal heaters, a layer of insulation, and more; neck and head, a mask for the cameras to give the rover a human scale view; eyes and ears, cameras and instruments that give the rover information about its environment; arms and hand, a way to extend its reach and collect rock samples for study; wheels and legs, parts for mobility; electrical power, batteries and power; and communications, antennas for speaking and listening. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about today is this alleged crashed UFO that Curiosity spotted on Mars. Now, is this an actual craft or is it debris? Now, in this picture, you can see that it looks kind of small compared to where the rover is, but if you match up the tracks of this rover, you know that this thing is car sized, right? So these tracks are pretty big, and if that object is as big as it is away from the image where the tracks are, it looks like it's pretty big to me, almost car sized itself. So there was some people commenting that this thing was small, but if you think about it and look at it, look at the tracks here, you know, and these are about the size of a car's tracks. And if this image in the distance is that big, then you know that it's pretty big if you was really close to it, at least in my opinion. I'm almost sure that you've seen this on the web somewhere already. But just look at this thing, man. I mean, it appears to have lights on the back and some on the front. So it's definitely a solid object. It has a shadow. So I don't know what the hell this is, but you know, I'm sure if NASA knew themselves, they would have mentioned this in the description of the picture when Curiosity took it, don't you think? So I put the link to the Fox News article on this, as well as the link to the original NASA rover photo for you guys to check out in the description. Now, I've done some research on the parts of the debris from the rover as it landed on Mars from the Curiosity rover. So let's compare these images with some of the images of what this thing is that it took a picture of and see if we can get a match. But before we do that, I want you to take a look at this NASA 3D animation video of the actual landing of the Curiosity rover as it landed on Mars, so you can actually get a feel of what each part looks like of the process, such as the cruise stage, the back shell, the sky crane, the rover, and of course the heat shield. So let's take a look at that video now. Okay, so now you have a general idea of what each piece of debris would possibly look like as it landed. So let's compare the debris parts with the pictures that the Curiosity took of this image that we have here. So here's a picture of the cruise stage. Now, does this look similar to the object in question? Okay, here's a picture of the back shell, which the parachute shoots out of. Does this look similar to the object in question? Now, this is what the actual parachute looks like. So how about this? Does this look like this object? Okay, so here is what the sky crane looks like. Still no comparison, right? And finally, the heat shield. Does this look like the object to you? Nah, me neither. This could well be another piece of debris from another failed mission because there were many. So either way, I thought this was a strange looking object and wanted to discuss it with you guys. I don't know, guys. Leave me some comments on what you think this is and your own opinion on this. Now, if you like the show, leave me some comments and give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe.
Thanks for watching Alien Investigations. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe because there is more great stuff to come.
And always remember, guys, to have your phones and cameras ready because you never know when you'll see something strange or unexplainable. I'll see you right back here every Wednesday with fresh new episodes of Alien Investigations. Hey, brother, watch another!